Boys, welcome back to the channel. Gentlemen, in this video, I want to speak about the one thing that I've really observed over the years that is actually going to be crucial to your success, okay? And so, in short, if you just want to hear this and click off the video, you can. It's focus. Your ability to focus. But not only just focus, I mean like hyper intense focus. Your ability to do that is going to be in direct correlation to how much you are going to progress, how much you're going to learn, how much time you're actually going to put in that is effective, right? Because when I compare myself now to myself a couple years ago, the biggest thing that I pick up on is I've just become very good at the ability to hone on into whatever it is that I know I need to do compared to beforehand. Like, all I was doing, and the reason again I was so lost, had no idea what I was doing, was out of shape, chasing the next girl, the next party, is because of my lack of focus, right? Or you could even say that I was focused on all the things that were not important and I was distracted. And this is why I say it's more so hyper intense focus, because in hyper intense focus, are you really able to reflect? Are you really able to deep dive into what you're doing, bro? And so, getting on a little deeper level, right? So we know that you have to focus to get work done. Like, it's kind of just common sense, right? But the reason I think there's levels to focus is because you can have somebody, bro, that's kind of just focused, that's, putting in some work here in their day, maybe there and there. And you can take that same person and compare them to somebody that's like hyper focused. And I think this is really the difference between just somebody successful and somebody very hyper successful, is that the hyper successful person is hyper fucking focused, like hyper focused. Like, when they work, bro, they are so locked in on what they're doing that they're reviewing. They're just doing so much in whatever it is that they're trying to work on, that it takes them to the next level like that. And so for myself, have I noticed a natural progression of this? And I want to speak more so about, first of all, where I've observed this the most nowadays, and then how I was able to um, how I was able to centralize my focus, really. And so the first thing is, I like to talk about the flow state, and because in that flow state, in a way, is where I find like my hyper focus, right? Where you're just flowing, bro. You're really deep in the work. You don't want anybody to talk to you. You're just fucking going by yourself. Like, it's just like that, right? And so I've noticed this, and this usually happens for me in two places. First place this happens is at the gym, okay? When I'm at the gym, my focus is unmatched. It's killer-like, to the point where, dude, when the right song is playing, the right set with the right amount of weight that's heavy as fuck, and I'm just pushing it, I'm already sweating, I've been warmed up, like, I damn near want to kill someone. And it's to the point where I feel bad almost if somebody were to interrupt me, because I feel like I'm gonna lash out. I'm gonna be like, shut the fuck up and let me work. Like, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about, where you're just so hyper focused and in that state of mind where, like, you are just like it's on fucking go. Like, don't touch me, don't bother me. I'm locked in, right? And so that's the first place this happens for me. The second place I've noticed this happens for me is anywhere I am with my laptop, when I just start to sit there and start to work. And I noticed this actually a couple years into my journey, in specific, when I would work around my family, when I was living with them in specific, would I be sitting on the couch and I'd be trying to get work done, right? And in the living room, by the way. So like everybody was there, maybe in the kitchen, maybe they want to come over and talk to me, and my mom would be asking me questions, or my dad or my brother, and I'm just like so locked in on the work, and you know, whatever it was, working on whatever, that I can't even hear them, honestly. Like I don't even know what they're saying. It's not even registering, because I like to think of a horse almost, that has like tunnel vision. And through the years of just continuously putting work in, and I like to say adapting kind of the killer mindset, showing up every day, going to the gym every day, building the confidence, all of these things, have I allowed myself to continuously be able to tap into that level of my mind, that level of focus consistently. And that's why I said at the beginning of this video, I think the only difference between me back then and me now is literally just my ability to focus and my ability to activate that mode like that. Right now, it's gotten to the point, obviously, where I have control over this completely. It's not like random, right? You know how like you might even catch yourself in this, bro, where you currently can't get into that state. Like a switch, you're not in control of it. It kind of will just happen. Maybe if you're listening to the right song, maybe if you know, just the environment's right, whatever, and you'll catch yourself in these zones sometimes, right? And so that's, I think, like the major difference between the two people is like I've gotten to the point where I now have control over this, where it's like when I want to flip that fucking switch, I'll flip that switch and I'll go insane. My phone ran out of storage because I recorded these all on my phone, so I had to delete a couple of them. But as I was saying, I have the ability to control this now, which is amazing, right? Because having this ability is going to allow for you to have more focus, right? And the more focus you have, essentially, the more work, deep work, effective work, self awareness, all these different things are you going to be able to have more success and more progression in, right? And that's ultimately the goal, is to have more focus in what you're doing, because if you have more focus in what you're doing, it's going to flourish. And the reason you can't progress, the reason you're not, you know, seeing whatever it is that you want to see, or achieving certain things, is because of, you know, unfortunately, your lack of focus. Because let's be honest, right? If you were more focused, if you were putting in more work, if you were whatever, you know, the sad reality of it all is you would be further than you are in some way, shape, or form, right? Or if you would have started earlier, whatever it is, right? But you get the point. And that's why this is so crucial. It's because you having the ability to control this will change everything for you. And so, again, how did I do this? How have I really gotten to the point where I'm able to control this? And so, as I was kind of mentioning earlier, it just happened throughout the years, guys, of putting in work. But the biggest part in understanding that it was all intentional. It's not like this just happened out of random. The way I like to think about everything that I do is I design my own life. I live life by my own design. And so with that, everything that I do, I have specific intention. Right? There's really nothing in my day to day, nothing in my life that's kind of just random. That's kind of just like happens, right? Everything that does happen, everything that I do, carry out, whatever, is specifically done so because I am very aware of where I'm trying to go, what I'm doing, all these different things. Now, that's not to say that I don't make mistakes or things along those lines, but for the most part, what I'm saying with that is throughout the years of having very specific intentions with everything that I do, with my work, with the gym, right, with my mind, all of those things, have I been able to tap into a deeper level. And that's literally, I think, the secret sauce, is just continuously putting in work, continuously having intention behind what you do, continuously journaling, huge, writing down your thoughts, understanding where you are. Like, I like to say, and I'll make a separate video on this, guys, for myself, I know my mind is one of I mean, forever probably will be my biggest enemy, and probably is true for everyone, right? Because what's the best way for me to put this? I have a lot of chaos always in my mind. And that's why I have to journal. That's why I have to write things down. Because if I don't, a lot of the times my mind will keep running, but more importantly, I'll try to answer the same question over and over again in my mind. And it's not really until I either write it down, I have a whiteboard right here, if you can't see, or I have my notebook right there, or I'll set it stone in my mind, like get the very clear answer to what I'm thinking so that that's that, and then like have that thought slowly leave my mind so I don't think and think again about the same thing and waste time, energy again, like getting stuck in my own head, because that's then what leads to a lot of problems is when I get stuck in my own head. And again, through all that, have I been able to have influence over this and really allow for my focus to skyrocket? Okay, so to end off this video, guys, just know your ability to focus is so important, because I've seen guys firsthand, put in work or try to make things work. Try to do things, doing this, doing that. But when they do the things that they're trying to do, when they chase after or attract after the things they want to accomplish, whatever, their lack of focus, their lack of intensity in what they're trying to do. What is this, a fruit fly? Um, their lack of intensity, their lack of focus is like almost embarrassing. It's almost like, dude, you're not even doing it right. Like if you're going to do something, at least do it right. Like their inability again to lock into the moment, lock into the work, pay attention to small details in the work because they're not as focused as they need to be, which leads to more fuck ups, which leads to, again, like, dude, the less detail oriented you are in things that you're trying to do, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like I've personally reviewed people's work, or gone and seen things, whatever, right? In some way, shape, or form. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm not saying things along those lines, because we're all not, right? But have I noticed, even with myself, by the way, guys, I learned all of this by myself. It's the only reason I'm giving you this advice, is even for myself, like, did I notice because of my lack of focus where there's pieces in my work that were not put together right, things that didn't go the way they were supposed to because of my own fuck ups, and all of this because of my lack of focus. And so it's not until you have this deeper level of focus, until you have this deeper level of looking at the detail oriented things, reviewing it, making sure it works, things just getting deep. Again, this has to do with everything, as I mentioned, not just with work, with the gym, whatever. Like really having intent, focus in whatever you're doing, is then going to allow for things to play out better in your favor. And so, if you can master the ability, your ability to hyper focus, will you start to see how much crazier, how much more progress you are going to see in life, in any aspect that you are really trying to dial in on. So, boys, with that being said, hopefully you guys took something valuable from this. Love you guys as always, and I'll see you in the next video.